Hello, and welcome to season 3 of The Desk of a Navy Wife, where you may or may not hear my kiddos in the background. My name is Raina Worthy, and on this podcast, we like to talk about challenges, triumphs, and experiences with being a military spouse. So kick back, relax, make a cup of coffee, or get that evening dinner ready, and watch or listen to me in the background. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a licensed mental health therapist, and the majority of my guests are not licensed professionals. If a guest is licensed, it will be clearly indicated and noted in the episode description. The content shared on this channel and in each episode is for educational and connection purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace professional mental health services. Please consult a qualified professional for any personal mental health concerns. Neither I nor my guests are to be held responsible for any decisions made based on this content. Now, let's unpack. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I am so excited to have my guest today, Sybil Jones. She is going to introduce herself, talk about how long she's been a military spouse, as well as her journey, and we're going to talk about mental health today. So, Sybil, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to first apologize for my throat because I'm now here in Northern Virginia and my voice does not like this new weather. I am Sybil. I am a military spouse, Navy spouse at that. 23 years. Yes, y'all. 23. I'm a mom.
Congratulations. It's a long time.
Thank you. I'm a mom of 3. I have 3 beautiful daughters. I have a college senior, a college sophomore, and a high school senior, y'all. I'm almost an empty nester.
Which is exciting in itself, if you think about it. It's like you're right there.
So close, so close. And in my spare time, I am the voice behind Sybil Talks that encompasses Mamas and Coffee, Mill Spouse Conversations, and Stroke Talks. And I'm all about empowering you to know, be, and love who you are. And I love to talk. That's me in a nutshell.
Yes, I love it. And I'm so happy that you are open to talking about what your stroke and your journey and everything. So we are going to dive into some questions about this as well as mental health. My first question, can you please start by sharing a little bit about your journey as a military spouse and what life looked like before your stroke?
So I'm going to tell you, I am that military spouse who loves military life. Moving every few years. I actually met my husband in college. And he was my RA, y'all.
Was he really? Oh my goodness.
He was. And he had joined the Navy under the BDCP, the Bachelor Degree Program.
Okay, yeah. So he would go right after he was completed.
Yes, he graduated college, went to OCS.
Okay.
But it didn't dawn on me when we got married that that's what was going to happen. So literally standing at the altar, I'm like, snap, I'm going to be a Navy wife. But I have loved every moment of it. We have lived in Japan. We have lived in Hawaii. We just recently PCS back to the U.S. from Bahrain. We've lived mainly on the East Coast, but I love it. I am that spouse who's like, oh, it's time to move. All right, let's go.
Right, new adventure. And I'm so glad that you even mentioned that because I feel like some spouses are a little reluctant, right, to moving. And the fact that you've been like to different countries is amazing. I've been to Japan before as well. I loved Japan. So the fact that you've been to Japan and Bahrain and overseas, you need to have another show on like mapping it out. But the fact that you do a tour.
Yes. I never looked at military life as a hardship. I've just looked at it as an adventure, and it has helped me grow as an individual. So
Oh, wow. So my next question, what was your experience like the day that you had your stroke? If you can kind of paint the picture for us, because I know we do want to talk about that in mental health. And how did it change your life ultimately, physically, emotionally, and mentally?
So I will just tell you about that day.
Yes.
My stroke actually happened at a military event. My stroke happened at my husband's farewell party.
Oh my goodness.
We were in the process of PCSing from Northern Virginia to San Diego, California. I had no health concerns, nothing. I had been out all day long, like out with my daughter, my middle daughter actually. It was a very typical, normal Saturday for me. We arrived at a brewery here in Virginia. We're back in the same spot.
Oh, wow.
My stroke happened now. But it happened, like I said, April 17, 2021. We're at the brewery. I was talking because I'm a talker. I have the gift of gab. And I guess I decided my husband was getting too much of the spotlight and I had to speak out. I joke about it. It was not a laughing matter at that moment,
Mhm.
but it does help me process what
What
happened.
happened? Yes.
But yeah, we were just there. One of the gentlemen that was sitting next to me, he has shared with me afterwards because I don't recall this day at all. He noticed my speech slurring.
Okay.
My husband said he looked down at the table because we were not sitting together.
Okay.
And he's like, that I just had this really weird blank stare on my face. So he
Mhm.
came down and I had a full facial droop. A full
Mhm.
facial droop, speech was slurred, and then I collapsed on the table, unconscious.
So for you with that taking place, how long was your journey of recovery? Because I know you said like you talking about it as a part of recovery, but ultimately physically, how was your recovery? And then what type of support did you have as you were going through your recovery process? Was any of it from the military?
I tell people that I am still recovering.
Okay.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you look so great. You sound really great." But I also remind people that stroke is a brain injury.
Yes.
There are, people do still have physical indicators or speech.
Mhm.
Like for me, I do not have full sensation to the left side of my body. I don't. I know
Okay.
you're using your hand, and I do. I use my left side of the body, but I do not have full sensation to the
I
left
get
side.
what you're okay. Okay.
But yeah, so I went through speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. I spent about a week and a half in the hospital ICU in
Mhm.
a unit. It did delay our PCS. So we were in a holding pattern here in Virginia.
Wow.
I wanted to move. I wanted to keep things as normal
Yeah.
as possible.
Wow, and so when they put you in that holding, how long did they like, was it, "Hey, you have X amount of months," or was it when you're ready and everything is checked off, then you all can PC?
Well, I'm smiling because my husband now, we talk about this now. So he was actually supposed to have been leaving 2 weeks after my stroke because he was PCSing ahead of me and my
Oh,
girl because of.
okay,
So he stayed behind with us until July.
okay.
So it happened in April. They just delayed him till July to stay.
Wow, so you could go to July, okay. And so your role as a spouse, a parent, and a caregiver, right, altogether, how did that shift after your stroke took place, and what emotions do you feel came with those changes?
My children became my caregiver,
They
which
became your
is really difficult for me.
Mhm,
Because once I was released from the hospital, and I will add that my stroke was due to a rare cause,
mhm,
which I tell people, go figure, right? If you know me, I'm a rare individual, but
mhm.
it was
You're gonna
due.
be the 1 in 10,000,000 whatever type cases. Yeah.
Yes. But, I couldn't drive. So my eldest daughter, she was 16 at the
Mm,
time, so she drove me to all of my appointments. Between her and my husband, they did tag team.
okay.
My husband went to all of my appointments in the very beginning.
Mm,
Once we moved to San Diego, I encouraged him to go to work. I was like, "Don't
okay.
stay. You've been home long enough with me."
Yeah.
So my eldest was taking me to appointments after.
Oh, wow. And so with that, do you feel like your care did you feel, like, fine with the care that was being offered to you? Did you feel like you had to do research on your own to get proper care? Or ultimately, how was that experience?
The care was great.
Okay, good.
That everyone was on top of the physical, occupational, and speech therapy, right?
Yes.
Like, soon as I was released from the hospital, I was taking care of physical, occupational, and speech. But the mental health,
Yeah.
that was something that I feel was overlooked until it became an issue or a
Mhm.
concern. I should say a concern
A concern, okay.
by my family.
Okay. So they were the ones that advocated for, "Hey, we should get your emotional side as well taken care of, not just your physical side of everything." Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to cry.
Listen, if you wanna get emotional, we will cry on here together, and if you want me to edit anything out, I will, but
No,
let it out if you need to.
now, because I have always been the strong person.
Mm,
I've always been the strong person for my family, for my friends. I did not recognize that I needed more
mhm.
support mentally, right? Because I'm like, I'm fine. I'm walking.
I'm
I'm
good,
talking.
yeah.
Things were a little weird with my speech and with
Mhm,
my movement, but I was fine. I
mhm,
looked fine.
mm,
And it was one day, and I still remember the day. Because my husband actually sent the kids back upstairs
Okay.
because it was he was like, "Mom just isn't able," because I had no control of my emotions. Like,
Yeah.
I was very erratic on everything. But I still have the laptop that I broke. Cleared every dish in my kitchen was broken.
Mhm.
Everything that was out in my kitchen or glasses, everything. I just
Yeah.
shattered everything. And he was like, "Sybil, you are extremely irrational right now." Because I would go from calm to angry in 1 second
Mhm.
over the smallest things.
Which I
Um,
think maybe normally, right, we think it's small. But for you, and in that instance, it was big. It was a big change or challenge or maybe frustration. And it was coming out, hey, I'm frustrated with this. Or, whatever that may have been coming into your mind at that time with your journey in that process. So not to take away from you whatsoever, because I personally have not had a stroke. I have had Bell's palsy, and that was in 2013. At the time, same as you, you're like, what's going on? And then, and then you're like, well, I can't really feel my face. And so for me, it was a scary experience, and I had to get assistance with it. Just they were like, we don't know why. We don't know why. Stress put it on. And that was, I think, for me, I'm solution focused. Like, what triggers it? Does it just happen to everybody? Like, how can it happen? And so I can understand where you're saying this happened to me, and then it's rare. Like that answer that was given to you, it's totally rare that this happened. And so for that, with them telling you it was rare, did they ever say anything may have added to it for you?
uh, no, actually, it was they diagnosed it as or carotid webbing. So
Okay.
I now have a stent here in my right carotid artery, and I
Okay.
keep stent. You want to see it?
Yeah.
I keep it. I keep a sample on my desk
On your dad. Okay.
just because. Well, actually, it's in my backpack because I take it everywhere with me as just my little reminder, and I do carry it everywhere. But this is what's here in my right.
Right here.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they basically told me as long as this holds, I should be fine.
As long as it holds. So do you have to constantly like book out just getting it checked at, or have they talked to you about that type of process?
I do. I get an
Yeah.
MRI once
Okay.
a year for my brain because they're watching 3 spots, damaged spots, and then every 6 months, I get
Okay,
it
going
checked.
through it. And so if you mind sharing with, because I know you said like the mental health side of it and challenges that came with it and the frustration and everything. With that, what have you faced recovery wise if you experience, fear or depression or anxiety? What type of resources have you been able to look, or what type of recovery process have you been able to go through?
Yes, so anxiety and depression have been I call them my new best friends.
Mm.
That's how I address them now. I'm like, "Oh, my BFF is coming to see me," right?
Mhm.
Because I recognize it now because, again, I've always been very social.
Yeah.
After my stroke, I became very isolated. I
Okay.
would not leave my house, um, at all.
Hmm.
Extremely fearful. Driving is a huge anxiety of mine,
Okay.
which is wild, but I also think about that night I was the designated driver.
Okay.
I've been trying to connect the dots there,
Right.
but, for me, it was therapy. I did my husband forced me to seek therapy,
Hmm.
and I did not use any military facility
Yeah.
until we went to Bahrain.
Okay.
Did use what is I cannot think of they're on pretty much every military base.
Like, was it like a clinic? You use the clinic's therapist, or
It wasn't the clinic,
maybe what is it called?
Clinton
The
family.
chapel, Clean Family Support? Okay. Okay. So you use their counseling services? Is that what ultimately they could provide you
Yes, in Bahrain,
in
but
Bahrain? Okay.
then I did have to go to a they in Bahrain, they forced my hand to see a psychiatrist for the medication.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
I mean, I was stable enough because, when you go overseas, you have to go through.
Yes. You have more restrictions. They may not have certain things, and certain medications may not exist. Yes.
Yes. But I was perfectly clear to go there.
Okay.
The clinic there did force me to see a psychiatrist out in town for medication. They would not continue to refill my prescription.
Okay, there. Okay. And how did the military lifestyle overall impact your recovery process? And some examples I can think of is because you brought up the care, but how about your community and then navigating TRICARE and the systems over there? How did that? How did that work?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 23 years. So I don't look at I know there's the military community. I meet people. I'm not like, oh, you're another military spouse. I'm
Right.
just like, oh, there's Raina. She's a military spouse and she's here to support me because she's a fellow military spouse. I'm like,
Right.
nah, she's here to support me because she thinks I'm pretty cool.
Right.
And we built that friendship there. So everyone that was there to support me in the military space, they actually knew me from outside of the
Mhm.
military community.
Okay. They knew
They
other functions or
they knew me from Mamas and Coffee.
gotcha. Okay, okay. No, that's being honest because at the end of the day, I mean, I can only imagine that sense of community that it's nice to have or would have been nice to have in the recovery. So how about with the TRICARE and navigating that? Like, how did that work?
So with TRICARE,
Mhm.
we went from Northern Virginia to San Diego with
Okay.
care.
Okay.
'Cause that was where, because the fresh recovery piece of transferring from Northern Virginia, East Coast to West Coast.
Right.
It was very easy because I still had a patient advocate that did everything for me.
Oh, that's so great. And patient advocacy, for anyone listening and tuning in as a military spouse, like be sure to reach out and see who your patient advocates can be because they're located at some installations. Sometimes they're at the clinic, but I think that's a person that people need to add in their pocket and not realize that they should add that in their pocket as a patient advocate because people might be like, well, when will I need that? You never know when you'll need someone to advocate for you.
They picked it up immediately.
That's good. So they were
They
kind of
'cause
another
she
support.
Yeah, she even was taking care of everything when we were here in Virginia. So my husband was just making sure I was okay.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. And with that, what did you find out of these systems, right? These systems, the community, what did you find was the most helpful for you during this time?
Just people showing up for me.
People showing up.
That was the most helpful for me.
Yes. And
Just having my core support system there, checking, just, from the simple text message. Hey, Sybil, I had 2 friends that
mhm,
they were on top of it. If they didn't hear from me for a couple of days, they were on the phone with my husband.
really. So these were friends like had nothing to do with the military. They were just like family friends.
No, they are military spouses.
Okay.
But again, connection with them was
Yeah.
not really because we were military spouses.
Right.
Because, hey, we met one of them. We did meet in Japan. We would just talk.
Yeah.
We'd walk and talk, go to lunch and talk. But our friendship carried beyond that. And that was like in 2012 because we were and still are friends beyond that. And another friend of mine, we talked virtually for 3 years before we ever met in person.
What? So like virtually, like y'all were able to see each other, or like you were just like constantly text messaging.
We
I'm
would
curious.
see each other maybe on Zoom, maybe once every 2 weeks. But yeah, we would just be texting.
Yes, and checking in.
And I still talk to both of them every day to this day.
That
And
I was gonna ask you.
and they know. And this is the craziest thing because they have gotten to know me pre-stroke and now post-stroke, right? So they're like, "Sybil, you all right?"
Right.
'Cause
They can tell the
they
difference.
know they can feel that mood like,
Yeah.
something's a little off with you right now. Let me just check."
Yes. And I'm glad that they do that. And it's so important that they catch it. They let you know, hey, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Let me check in on you or check with your family. My next question, what would you say to another person, military spouse, that's maybe silently struggling with their health or mental well-being?
Reach out.
Reach out.
Do not be afraid. If you are struggling mentally, do not be afraid to say, "Hey, I need help."
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna tell you not to isolate because being in the situation that I was in within that depression, I used to think, depression? All you need to do is get up and get dressed. You'll be all right. But I realized it is a struggle. There is a struggle to do so. But if you can catch yourself, reach out, let your friend, let a neighbor know, hey, I need help. I need to talk to someone. And as far as your health, take care of yourself. I had no health issues, no
Hmm.
stress, no nothing. But if something feels up, and I will tell y'all, nothing felt off about
Hmm.
day that I have a picture, Rena, I have a picture that me and my husband took like 2 hours before the stroke. And I have analyzed that picture. And I'm like, there was nothing. There was
No signs.
nothing.
Nothing. Well, I got chills a little bit from that. But it is. You can say, you can be, hey, I've been doing this right. I've been doing this right. And my health is this and this. And you don't know. That doesn't guarantee anything. And the fact that you said you had no signs, you're just sitting there and somebody recognized this. And then you don't remember the day, that moments after and the recovery that came with it. With this journey and this experience, how has your perspective on rest, on self care, and on mental health changed since the experience?
I will say, because look, I've always been like with resting, I'm a rest.
Take a nap.
That has never changed. I'm very much like, take a nap, girl.
Yes.
Go
Bye.
take a walk. So that perspective has not changed at all. But for mental health,
Yes.
don't dismiss how you are feeling or how when someone tells you that something is off with
Hmm.
them and reset your mind. And it's okay. Like I really, because now that I catch when I am going into a deep place, I now know, okay, Sybil, you got to call your friends.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to take medication. I was like, I would never take medication but I was on meds. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I
Hmm.
was like, do not if your doctor recommends that you need medication, get a second opinion if it makes you feel better,
Hmm.
but don't be afraid.
And I'm glad you're speaking on don't be afraid because I feel like there's always been that negative, like stigma or, that stereotype or whatever. If someone has to ask for help or if someone has to get some type of medication or if they're going to therapy and it's like they're taking care of themselves, right? You're listening to your body, or you're listening to someone that's helping you saying, hey, you're different. You're not typically your upbeat self. What's going on? And then being in tune to yourself that, you know what, you're right. I'm not myself. And I do need to get help. I do need to get support on this. And so thank you for touching on that. Like, don't be afraid. Don't, that fear. If anything, you're advocating for yourself in this instance. You're sticking up for yourself and your health and your mental health as
Yes.
well. So
And mental health is health because
yes, thank you. It's like it is a part of health. Like that literally it says mental health. Like we're so keen, I feel like in our society. It might be shifting a little bit more now with the mental health. But I feel like in the beginning it was always physical, right?
yes.
Being fit, being in the gym, eating right, eating this, take care of your body, and then you completely forget the mental side. It's still a part of your health, your brain, all of that.
Yes.
How you do emotionally.
And don't even like I catch myself now too, things
Hmm.
that never bothered me before, it does now. And I'm like, you know what? I've got to step away.
Hmm.
I've got to turn this off.
Hmm.
And it's crazy, but I'm like, this bothers me now.
Yeah.
And even people, right?
Yep.
Some people trigger me, men like they do.
No, but that's honest.
That is people that I know.
Yeah.
And it's not anything against them, but it's just at that moment,
Mhm.
it's not them at that time. It's just everything else is on my shoulders.
And then they're just added to that. Like, what do they say? The hair that broke the camel's back or whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
like just that person right there just had to add to whatever was going on. Yes. So for you, I know you talked about your family being a part of your healing journey, your friends that just so happen to be military spouses.
The two that are in my phone
Yes.
all the time.
They're constantly contacting you. So with all of that within your healing journey, and I know you're still going through your healing journey as well. So thank you for your transparency with that. How did it affect your relationship dynamic?
See, I would say it didn't affect them at all.
Okay.
Sure, my husband and children and some of my friends would tell you differently, but
Yeah, if they were on here.
I feel like it didn't change it.
You're like, what? I always loved you. Well, we always may have talked like this or argued like this or whatever, right?
It has made me appreciate other people. It really has. Like, I know people say, "Oh, it makes when you're in a near life situation or a bad
Mhm.
situation, oh, it makes you appreciate." It really did. It really made me appreciate
Mm.
my husband and my children more. It didn't make me stop fussing at them. I still fuss at them, but
Right. You're like, that's me. Like, you're going to get fussed at if you need to.
actually, funny enough, my husband, when I did start fussing at everyone again, like, and was doing so in a control manner, he was like, "You're back, thank you." Or
Okay.
even being out in public and me talking to people, because I like I said, I isolated, so I wouldn't leave the
Yeah.
house. But now I'm back in the grocery store talking about, "Hey, how you doing? What
Yeah, right.
bread for? What you gonna make?" So it's like, yes, she's back.
Yes, they can see that growth. They can see that with you and coming about. For your relationships, because I know you said they may feel like it did change or it did change, and you're saying it did change. Would you ultimately say, if you could reflect, right, on everything thus far, would you say you are more comfortable with asking for help since this situation compared to maybe prior to? Were you more reluctant in the beginning in general of asking people for help?
No.
No? Okay, so you were always okay with asking for help in general.
No, no, I'm saying no, no, I still do not ask for help.
You still don't. Okay. Well, that's honest. You're like, "No, I got it."
Yeah.
And do they get on you about that?
They do.
Okay, okay.
But it's more of because they recognize when I say things start getting wonky. I
Okay.
say stroke brain kicks in.
Okay.
So they're like, "You know what? You're doing this to yourself. You're causing yourself more pain than just asking for help." Because it's more of physical things for help.
Okay.
On the mental health side of things, I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I may need to go over here and sit in timeout for a moment.
Mhm.
Let me get some." But every other aspect of my life, I'm like, "Nah, I don't need y'all to help me. I
I
got this."
got this. So they're like, "Okay, okay, honey," or "Okay, mom."
Yes.
That's you. And then my last question for you, Sybil, as we wrap up, because I'm glad that you are sharing your mental health story and your journey as well, and touching on it and the importance that it is still health, right? What's the one thing you now prioritize that you may have overlooked before, and how has that improved your mental health?
See, like, you asking me some questions I have never really thought about. Y'all, look, she didn't give me these
I
questions.
get deep. I did not. I get deep. I like to pop up on people with
I'm
this.
like, "Oh, okay, what are some" okay, ask the question again while I'm
Okay,
thinking.
so what's one thing you now prioritize that you may have overlooked before, and how has that improved your mental health?
Always make sure I rest. I'm going to say and I used to think this was a bunch of hogwash, I will be honest with you, but
Mhm.
exercise.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna rest, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm getting my rest. I'm going to make sure that I surround myself around good people, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm making sure I'm being fed positive life, but exercise. That was one thing when I was going through therapy, they used to talk about, "Oh, well, make sure that you're exercising." I'm like, I used to work I actually used to do CrossFit.
Wow. Wow. CrossFit is no joke.
Yeah. But throughout my journey, I stopped doing anything. Like, my walking would literally be just walk down the street or
Okay.
not walk out the backyard for my dog to use the potty and come back.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, "Okay, you know what, Sybil? You need to take those long walks,
Mm.
clear your mind." I'm starting to row. I used to row when I was doing CrossFit, but now
Wow.
I
Okay.
realize, like, okay, rowing don't tell my husband.
Okay. Just tell him don't tune in on this part.
He actually bought a rower for me.
Uh-huh.
Didn't use it, but I've been using it, but I
Okay,
keep
good.
telling him that I'm not using it, but we can't let him know that I
Tell
but
him when
just
he gets to this minute marker, just be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, skip past that. Skip past
yeah,
that."
but yeah, just, doing some physical activity.
Okay.
Even when I feel myself going down that dark hole, I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Get up.
Yep.
Go for a long walk."
Yep. Get out the house, go do something. And I'm so glad that you saying it's exercise, but you brought in the fact that even if it's something as simple as walking, because I will admit to you, because I work from home, it's hard sometimes. You want to just like, if I knock it all out and I get it all out and done, I'll be done for the day. And the next thing you know, you've sat for 4 or 5 hours. And my husband's the same way with like, you need to get out the house, go walk around the block a couple times, go breathe, get change your scenery.
And even, like, I have scheduled 3 lunches with people. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I just need to go out and talk to people.
Hmm.
That's good for your mental health too. Go out. I talk to my neighbors. We just moved here. We moved back in May, and I was invited to a cookout the second week we were back. My husband was still in Bahrain. It was just me and two of my daughters, and I'm out talking. They're like, "You want to?" I'm like, "Yeah, bet."
Yeah, you're right. I'll be
It's just being around other people,
there. Hmm.
mental health. But yeah,
Can help. No, I agree with you. With and building that own sense of community. Like you're getting out, you're talking, you're mingling with people, and it's slowly coming back to you. It sounds like ultimately, right? You're talking, you're hanging out, you're chatting with people, and you're being invited to cookouts after week 2. You're doing something right.
Hey, free food. I'm like, do I need to bring something? Because I'm not. Even if you tell me I need to, I'm not. I'm gonna bring myself.
Oh,
I'll bring a bottle of wine.
it's honest though. You get them that heads up right then and there. Well, thank you so much again, Sybil, for joining me today and talking about mental health, your journey. And if there's anything you want to share to our listeners, I'm going to give you a second to share that, as well as any other platforms or organizations you're aware of.
Look, for stroke, be fast. Just remember that acronym: balance, eyes, face, arms, which means ask the person if they can hold their arm up, if they're adrift. Can they lift their arm? Speech, S for speech, T time. Call 911. If you think someone is having a stroke, call 911. Time is of the essence. I was told, I will say this real quick. My husband, not me, I was unconscious. My husband was told, hey, if you did not get your wife here, but I'm here. They called 911 immediately.
Immediately. So
Be
act
fast.
fast. I will definitely be sure to share resources is that in addition to stroke and fast so that they can be able to see that as well. If there's anything else that you want to share with me prior to, I will show that in the show notes as well. Thank you, Sybil.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you again for tuning in this week. I look forward to bringing you resources, support, and laughter. Sending my love from the desk of a Navy wife.